Grass monkeys. It's been a while, a couple weeks I think since I made a video. It's been crazy, extremely crazy, and I will show you guys in more detail in this video some of the things I'm talking about. We've had quite a few rain delays where things were swamps. I had one guy that has been part-time with me for a couple years. I had him coming in on either Wednesdays or Thursdays to help me get caught up. It's not so easy to just get, I know some of you guys get that are solo guys, when you get behind, you know, you just do a few extra a day and get caught up. Some of mine are easy to do that, but the majority are not, because my properties are pretty decent size. I have a few smaller ones, but some of them are pretty decent size, so it's really hard for me to get caught up like that. Could I do it? Yeah, I could swing it. I could make it happen, but it was just easier to have him come in for a day here and there to help me out, to get me caught up, which has been great. You guys probably see behind me this graded rack. I did convert this dually over to a dump truck, which I will show you guys that. The flatbed dump was given to me by a guy I used to work for doing landscaping. It had the cylinder in it. All I had to do was order a pump from Northern Tool, which I did, and I put that pump in, and then I had to weld together a subframe right up here near the cab for the dump bed to sit down on. And then I put a hole in the back wall here, and there's an 8-foot cable with a remote to take the bed up and down. So I had to run that through. All said and done, and I put sides on it. I just used the wooden sides I used to use on the regular dually bed. I put those on it, and I welded C-channel that comes straight up in the corners for the boards to slide down in. And then I painted the boards black. And then I welded, it had a wooden flat bed on it. I welded 1/8-inch steel 4x8 sheets right across it, so it's a lot smoother for things to dump out. I put it right over top of the wooden bed. A little bit more work to do on it, but not much. I wired in a set of lights on the back of it for my brake tail and blinker, and then I put on, I wired in reverse lights that are pretty much the same thing as on my GMC for my reverse plow lights. Are super bright. So all said and done, I have about $600 into this dump bed conversion, and I sold the bed that was on the back of here for $1,000. So I'm ahead of the game as far as converting this over to a dump truck, which is going to make life, it has made life a hell of a lot easier on me. I could just dump grass in the back now, and then at the end of the day, I just unhook the trailer and I can go to one of like 3 places I can dump at. I just back in, sit in the cab, hit the button, dump the shit out, and then let it back down the way I go. So it was a pretty no-brainer idea to just do it and get it done, because it was cheap for me to convert this over to a dump truck, and I'm actually ahead of the game. I made money on the deal, just took a bunch of my time. So I had that going on, plus the rain delays. I had a lady call me last year, and she was moving into a house, her old family homestead here. I went and mowed it for the first time last week, and it had so many pitches and different angles. I was sliding all over the place no matter how slow I went. I put the weight kit on the mower. I was still sliding all over. I said, this isn't for me. I called her and I said, I'm sorry, I mowed it, I trimmed it all out. I'm not even going to charge you for this one because I feel bad because I told you I'd do it. I said, but this just isn't for me. This lawn has to be done with a push mower, and it's a good sized yard. I just don't have the time to do it. But then it got worse because I backed up onto the trailer, and because of the trailer, the pitch of it, when I backed the zero turn up there, I slid sideways and I snapped one of the cables that go down to the ramp door. That frickin' thing went right past my head. I literally heard the wind whip past my head. And I was like, man, that could have frickin' taken my neck right off, just right through. Could have cut me up. But there's another guy that owns a landscape company. He came over yesterday, and the cable only snapped at the top where it wraps around the spool. So he put it back on for me. He was able to put it back on, and everything works fine now. So I'm happy to have that done. But that one turned out to be a mess. This past week, at that same guy, he got a contract for a huge factory not too far from me, and he offered me a pretty good chunk of money for the next 4 weeks to just go with him. I just take my mower and I go with him. He picks me up in the morning, I put my mower in his trailer, and I just go and I mow with him. It was taking him 7 hours to do it by himself. So him and I got it done in about 3.5, 4 hours. If you guys watch back to my older videos, you'll see I made a video with the old Great Dane Stander, and I think the video was titled "One of My Largest Properties." It was a big horse farm, and it's monstrous. You could probably fit that property into this factory 6 or 7 times. It's just huge, just mammoth. And so I went with him Saturday to help him do that. And now for the next 3 Sundays, I have to go help him do that. And then he's going to manage it there by himself. After that, he hired another guy on that's going to go and help him do that. So that took more time there. It's been so busy and so crazy. I just have not had time to set up a camera and make a video. We're supposed to pretty much be good all week long. Today's Monday. We're supposed to be good all week long without any rain or anything. So I'm going to try to get some videos cracked out for you guys this week. Man, there's just so much more. Oh, the trailers, when I converted the bed over, there's 2 plugs exactly the same for the wiring for the lights in the back. And when we took the bed off, the guy that was helping me disconnected the bed, and then he disconnected the bed, and then he reconnected them. But the 2 plugs are the same. One goes to the lights, and the other one goes to the 7-way pigtail. And so what he did is he plugged them both into each other. I didn't know that was the issue, and then we fixed that because I didn't have any trailer lights, but I got that fixed. So we'll see what happens. Stick with me, guys. Oh yeah, sorry, on them lights. So we plugged the 2 back into each other. I didn't have any tail lights on the trailer, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was. Turns out when he plugged them back together for me, he plugged the truck into itself and the 7-way pigtail into itself. So there was no power going to the pigtail. So I got that fixed, and then now the 7-way pigtail was bad. It was kind of beat up, so I wired a new one of those in, and everything works fine now. But the problem is whenever I put on my right blinker, my trailer brakes pulsate. And I know they make a thing called a pulse eliminator you can wire in. I'm not going to mess with that. Somebody told me you just take the right blinker wire in the pigtail and the brake wire, and you just switch them, and it'll take care of the problem. So I'm going to try that out. I just haven't had time to do that yet either. But other than that, everything is up to par now. Seems to be working fine. The trailer's fixed. That cable that is snapped. And so I'm going to get with it, and we're going to I'm going to get some mowing done today, try to get some footage for you guys, and hopefully have a smooth week. It's just been a hell of a last 2 weeks. Things breaking and, you know, just rain delays like crazy, rushing, trying to catch up. You know, some of these lawns, I mow everything between 3 1/4 and 3.5 inches. That's been the standard forever. That's the standard in my area. Most companies, a lot of these properties I've been mowing down at 3 inches, and I get there a week later and it's like I haven't even been there this year. They're just growing like crazy. But you know, we're only the 2nd week into May, and I usually don't start my first cuts till the beginning of the 3rd week in May. So it has been kind of crazy, but I've had a whole extra month of mowing here, so I'm not complaining. But you know, we'll see what happens. But I'm rolling with it, and I'm cracking it out. I don't know. We'll see here. We're definitely making progress, and things are going pretty good. But you know, there's been a lot of setbacks and things like that. And any of you new guys starting off, you're going to experience that like crazy. Don't let that get you down. Just keep plugging away and rolling with it, because that's what makes the difference between companies that die out and companies that last. You know, a lot of guys start off in their first year, and then you don't see those trucks or trailers the following year, and that's because they hit setbacks and hardships like this, and then they just said, screw this, you know, this is too much, and I'm just out. But I don't let that stuff get to me. I just keep plugging away, and I do what I got to do, and I make it happen. So yeah, that's the deal. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys a bunch of stuff in this video, and I'm going to show you different things. you know, that, like I said, I'm going to show you the dump bed. I'll show you where the cable snapped off. I'll show you little stuff like that. And we'll, oh, I had another issue with the deck on the Scag. It seemed like I was leaving way too many clumps. Come to find out, 215 hours on that mower now, and the deck was off by a ½ inch, so I had to re-level the deck. I looked all over, could not find a video for re-leveling that deck, so I'm going to make a specific video for that and title it that, so anyone that's looking for it can find it, and won't go through what I went through. I figured it out on my own. It's actually extremely simple. And also the swing set I went under, I showed you guys a video. I went under with the stander last year, and I caught on that swing and I flipped and rolled that stander. I went under it the other day, the same day I figured out the deck was off last week, and swings, I had them off to the side. One fell down and come off the side and literally tore the PTO switch right off the brand new Scag, just disintegrated it, ripped the whole plastic piece right off. So I had to put a new one of those on, yeah. I'll show you guys more in detail about that too. But stick with me. I'm going to try to make this video as good as I can, but there's a lot of catching up to do, stuff I got to inform you guys of. So bear with the talking portion of this video. I'm going to show you all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, stay with me, guys. There is the Exmark Vantage 36, okay? You guys seen that when I bought that not that long ago, and I absolutely love it. The thing flies, it cuts great, it stripes like there's no tomorrow without a striping kit even on it. So I absolutely love it. Today the Scag is actually parked in the garage because I have something else. I wanted a bigger mower because I have some properties I need one on. I didn't want to go too big, so I was looking for a 52, and I preferred a standard. That's what I really wanted. So let me show you guys this. I bought this Saturday. This is an Exmark Vantage 52. So now I have this. I bought it used with 600 hours on it. Got a smoking deal on it. You guys know I get smoking deals and everything. There's some decent tread in here, but not enough. I ordered and you guys know me, I love to have my brand new tires, so I ordered a new set. They should be in tomorrow or Wednesday. They're 88 bucks a piece, and I love it. So I went and I used that, but I had some issues with it to where the first day I brought it home, Saturday, it was perfectly fine. I put it in the garage, I jacked up, I took the blades off to sharpen them because I like to sharpen my own blades. You guys know that. So I wanted to put my angle on it versus what the guy had on it. And I lowered it down, the thing wouldn't start. Well, there's some magnets underneath, and there's these little black switches on the bottom of each one of these control levers. And it's called a reed switch, R-E-E-D. Reed switch. Well, they weren't lined up with those magnets, and when they're not lined up, it tells the machine it's not neutral and won't let it start. I worked on this thing for hours. I was so pissed off that I just bought it Saturday morning and Saturday night. It wouldn't start. I was so mad, but I got it figured out, and I took it and I mowed with it. That big factory yesterday, absolutely loved it. Loved it, except for the hills. It was sliding a lot because it doesn't have that good a grip on tires, which, like I said, will be taken care of soon. But it actually started snowing on us a couple times mowing yesterday. I don't know why, 80s it's been around here, 70s, 80s, and then yesterday it started to snow. But so I loved it. The only thing I hate about it was painfully slow. I was so pissed off because I knew the 36 was lightning fast, and I expected this to be the same. Well, when I got home from mowing yesterday, I played around with it a little bit, and it turns out the controls were way off. So now the thing flies. Real quick, you guys saw what I had done before. I cut this, drilled a hole in there, notch it out so my 6.2 accelerator goes on it. I did the same thing to this one. I cut off that end tab, I notched it out there, and drilled a hole there. So the 6.2 goes on there. This thing bags like a champ. The other good thing I like is this 36 doesn't have it, but all of the Exmark Vantages 48 and bigger have this down here. What you can do is you can bring the axle, the tires, you can bring them in closer, or you can extend them out for a wider stance to handle hills. So it's that's another great feature. I have so much room, like I kind of just have them spaced out just sitting in here. I just got done my first lawn of the day, which I did with the 36, but I have so much room in here with these standards, even having a 52 instead of a 48. With these platforms flipped up, it leaves insane amounts of room in here. Alright guys, you're going to see a lot of me mowing for the next couple minutes, and I
chose to speed up the video for all these. I know sometimes watching mowing videos you like it in just regular motion, the video not sped up, and I'm not always gonna do this, speed up the mowing part. It's just there's a bunch in this. I'm trying to make this video the best I can. Like I said, I just had a bunch of random stuff put together. That's why you just see me from a blue coat in a truck to a yellow sweatshirt. Those are 2 different days, obviously. I've just had random stuff I'm trying to put together to, you know, that I just haven't had time to do anything with as far as editing and stuff. But this is a property I just wanted to show you a bunch of different angles of different parts I mow. This mower really does fly. I mean, obviously it looks like I'm going fast now because I have the video sped up, but it does fly. And it's not just because of how fast I have it going that you can see the distance. It's blowing the grass out the side of that deck. With all my Exmark mowers, I've gotten the grass to blow a lot further out the side of the deck, and I'm going to explain to you why in just a minute here. I'm going to show you something on the deck when I get to that part with the camera. It should be coming up in just a minute. I'm going to show you what I did to the deck and what you can do to all Exmark decks to make the grass fly out a lot further. So that you're not double cutting as much, you're not bagging as much, things like that. You'll see. I'll explain all in a minute. So stick with me, guys. Please enjoy.
Well, good Saturday morning, lawn dogs, grass monkeys, whatever you want to be called today. Well, that was, okay, this is, as you guys know, I don't do bi-weekly accounts, okay? This is the only bi-weekly I have. I've had it for 4 years now, and the guy doesn't want any weed whacking done. He just wants it cut down every 2 weeks to keep the town from sending him a letter. He actually doesn't live here. His job shipped him to Texas. He's been there for a while, and so I think he plans to retire here, but that's why he's not selling. It's a beautiful house, beautiful property, awesome garage. So he just wants to keep the town off his back. So he just wants it done every 2 weeks. I could do it whenever I want. I was spanked yesterday at the end of the day, so I put it off till this morning, which I'm glad I did. And believe it or not, I've already cut this twice. It was thick. It's really, really thick. It's just the way it goes here in New York in the spring. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that because these GoPros don't zoom, but there is clumped up grass everywhere, all over there and all over here. Now, I don't really care about the back, but I am going to bag these 2 front sections. I don't have to. Technically, I can leave here right now. He could care less. He just wants it cut down every 2 weeks, but I care, and I don't like it, and I can't leave it that way. This whole fence line right here, there, and up that side over there was like a foot tall with weeds too. I at least try to every other time I'm here, once a month, weed whack down that fence line so it doesn't look so horrible. But so I'm gonna bag some of this. There's my 36. As you guys can see, I just mowed that with the new 52. I absolutely love that thing. Underneath there's controls, forward controls that adjust the speed on it and the tracking. According to the manual, they say that you shouldn't mess with those, let the dealer do it, but you guys know me. So I did mess with them, and now that thing flies. In all conditions, should you mow grass that fast? Hell no. But in normal weekly mowing conditions, I fly on that thing. As long as I keep my blades razor sharp, which I run high lifts, you guys know that. Usually gators in the spring and fall, but I haven't been running the gators. I've been just running the high lifts. I just like the way they perform better. But as long as I keep them razor sharp, which I do, I can fly and it still cuts it even. Some people say, don't ever mow that fast, never mow that fast. Well, you know what? You don't have big properties, because let me tell you something. When you have big properties, if you mow slow all day, you're going to lose money every month. You'll be out of business in no time. It's just not going to happen, or you're going to make very, very little profits. I don't even know why you're in business. But anyway, let me show you guys this real quick. This whole wall is steel. I got the backpacks, the handheld over there, and then, you know, the hedge trimmers here, which you guys have seen. But anyway, this winter you guys saw I bought this new FS90R, and I have fallen in love with it this season. I absolutely love this trimmer. So the other day I just went and bought another one. So now I have one as a backup. You can see it's still brand new. I haven't even used it yet. I'm going to show you guys something real quick before I start bagging this. I want to show you guys something. Hold on, it's going to get bumpy for a second. Okay, for any of you guys that have Exmark mowers, this is something that I have found, which is a common thing. Oh, you guys see, I cut this out already so that my accelerator bagger sits right on there. But any of you guys that have Exmark mowers, okay, my Exmark Laser Z zero turn you guys have seen in my old videos I had, that new 36, this 52, all the Exmarks come with, I don't know if I can really show you guys this right now, but there is a deflector that goes right here. It goes at an angle into the deck. It's about that long. It bolts in through a hole. Well, it's filled in with grass right now. It bolts into a hole right there, and then a hole right there in the top. There's only 2 bolts that hold it in. I think that is one of Exmark's biggest flaws in their decks. They say it helps with airflow. I call bullshit, because I took it out of the Exmark Zero, and that Exmark Zero was, you like this little tarp I put on here? I got it connected up there, and then I have one of them grip tight things that twist like a twist tie to hold it rolled up when I don't need it. But I have it to cover all this grass so it doesn't blow out of here, out of the dump. I'm going to show you that today too. But I took it out of the Exmark Laser Z zero turn. I've taken it out of the 36, and I've taken it out of this 52. And let me just tell you, when you're It makes it 10 times easier and better when you're bagging. See, it just flops on there now, just sits there. It makes it 10 times easier and better when you're bagging and when you're just regular mowing. You'll just get grass that comes out of the front portion of the deck up there. It comes out like in a straight line. When you're mowing, when you take that flap out, you get like the whole thing blows grass out, and it throws grass 10 times further. All my Xmarks, this is the third one now I've had. All my Xmarks, when you're mowing, you blow grass maybe two and a half passes to your right is what it covers. You pull that flap out of there, that deflector, I'm shooting 4.5, 5 all day long. That's how far it's dispersing grass. So it cleans the deck out faster, so you don't have all that in there clogging that deck up. It gets it thrown out of there, it gets everything out of the way, and it's less you have to bag or double cut because you're dispersing that grass way the hell out of the way. So, and you guys have Xmarks. You know, if you don't believe me, try it. It's not like you have to cut or destroy anything. It's 2 bolts that hold it in. Pull them 2 bolts out, pull that thing out, and mow with it for a day. If you don't like it, bolt it back in. But I've got a stack of them sitting in my house, 3 of them now, because I've taken them out of all my Xmarks. It makes the deck 10 times better, even with wet grass. Less clumping, everything. So, give it a shot. All right, guys, we're going to bag some of this.
Alright guys, so I started bagging this, I made a couple passes, and then I realized it clogged up the mouth of the bagger. I noticed it was leaving grass laying there. That's how you always know when a grass catcher is full. You can see it leaves a trail of grass. So anyway, it was leaving it there, and this grass was so thick in the beginning that it was wet. It had a lot of moisture in it. So I decided to pull it off, and I went back and I raised the deck up some and went back and forth over the thickest, the worst parts of it, just to kind of break it up and spread it out. And then I throw the grass catcher back on there and bag over those parts. I never had any issues after that, but I just had to break some of this up before I went back to bagging it. That's the other good thing about this property. I do have a handful of properties where I can dump grass anywhere. And this property here, there's got to be 100 different places where I can dump grass. There's woods all over, and you know, he could care less. He doesn't care where I put it. And there we go. I threw the grass catcher back on it, and now I'm back to bagging it. If any of you guys are wondering, I'm cutting this down to 3 1/4 inches. That's the height that I usually cut this property at. But you know, bagging it every once in a while in the beginning of the season keeps from me having to double cut it every week. But that's the case here, and that's what I was doing there in the beginning, in case you guys were wondering.
Well, that's it, guys. That is the finished product. I don't know if you can see them stripes, but it gets you a higher view. Up in the air. Oh, it stripes pretty well. It's, sorry guys, stick with me. The mount's on the bottom of my tripod. But anyway, it's some properties stripe well, some don't stripe for crap. Just all depends on the type of grass, I guess. But I'm gonna stick you guys right here for a second. You can stare at my ugly mug. It all depends on the type of grass, to be honest with you. Remember I showed you guys before my mowing list? Yeah, buddy. That's how I do. Keep them on the clipboard right here in the truck. I'm gonna mount you guys on the dash for a second, so just bear with me. There. Snap you in that clip there. Alright, but yeah, it all depends, man. You know, some properties stripe really well. You guys know that, I'm sure. You know, and some of them don't stripe for crap. So it just really all depends. This one stripes pretty good. And I'll tell you what, that Xmark stripes like a bear. You guys have seen my, well, maybe you haven't, I don't know. But if you guys seen my old videos on my striping kits where I was making multiple striping kits before I found one that worked really well. Shut these Bluetooth beats off. Bluetooth Dre Beats. Best freaking thing I've ever bought. No more of that cord ripping out while I'm freaking weed whacking or getting caught on stuff and ripping out. I plug them in right here in my truck. They take the same charger as my phone. And I plug them in every night and they're ready to go the next morning. I've mowed 12 hours in a shot with them things on, never killed them. But anyway, so yeah, if you guys will watch my old videos on striping and or making the striping kits, and I finally settled on the one, which turns out the exact same thing as what they sell for like $400 anyway. And it cost me like total, I think, 70 or 80 bucks to make one. If you haven't seen it, go back and check that out. But it's there's no need for a striping kit on either one of those Exmark Vantages. They both stripe. Where the Scag struggles to stripe, even with that striping kit on it, which the Scag is one of the best striping mowers I've ever seen, right out of the factory, even without a kit on it. But some lawns where the Scag didn't leave that good of stripes, even with the striping kit, I run that 52 Vantage across it. Stripes all day long. If that's your thing, if that's what you're going for. Some people could care less about stripes, and sometimes I could care less either. Sometimes I just want to knock them out and get them done. But I'll tell you what, that those Exmark Vantages stripe. Man, do they stripe. Alright, so that's it for that. Guys, I'm really, really sorry I've not been busting out these videos like I promised I would in these new series. It's been a hell of a spring. But things are going to start slowing down here in the next couple weeks, so you guys can be expecting more videos more often from me. I'm going to get them going. It's just that, you know, being solo this year, it's no joke. It's a hard gig for sure, but no complaints out of me. I absolutely love it. I love it. I don't care that it's a hard gig. I don't care that it takes a lot more to do. I love it. So I'm going to stick with it. But so just be patient with me, guys. I'm going to bust out some more videos for you guys. I'm going to try to get you as much as I can. I'm going to have a cool summer. I hope everybody's having an amazing season. And I hope everyone's out there having a lot of fun. Because if you're not, then what the hell's the point? Money, I guess. But money's not everything. Trust me. I've been broken. I've had more money than I knew what to do with. And I'll tell you what, it's not everything. So I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're having a great season. I'm going to put more in this video. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go dump this grass and then I got to go swap out an alternator. Oh, the other day I was mowing, going from house to house, and my battery light was on the truck here, and it kept coming on. I just put a brand new battery in this thing about a week and a half ago. So I get back home, I put a tester on it. Sure as shit, the alternator isn't charging. So I left the truck in the driveway, flew to Napa, grabbed an alternator, came back, took me like 15 minutes to swap it out, and then I went back out mowing, and it was great all day. So that fixed that problem. So that's another thing to add to my dilemmas that have been happening. But I got to go change an alternator out in one of my wife's cars. She's got 3 freaking cars. So I got to go change one out in that because we're selling it and it just needs an alternator and it's good to go. So I went and got the alternator last night. So on my way down to change that out, I'm going to go dump this grass. So I'll show you guys the dump. Stick with me. Alright guys, we're going to take a little trip back in the woods here. This is my buddy's company, owns a big landscape company in the next town over from me. You'll see he's got a building up there where he keeps his salt in, a couple trucks, trailers. But he's got a spot back here to where I can dump stuff. He's got a nice little path. He usually keeps it mowed down. He's been busy, so he hasn't got back here to mow it down. But oh look, brand new tires. There's the one. See those tires right there? I don't know if you can see them. I just took those off the 52 Vantage when I got home. They got a little bit of tread on them, but not enough for my liking. You guys know I'm big on tires, man. I put new tires on almost everything I buy. Other than the Scag, since I bought that brand new, but I want more tread on them. They slide way too easy, and they're just due for tires. So that's another project on my list today. Usually there's deer running all over the place back here, but yeah, so he's got all kinds of places to dump back here, and so that's what we're gonna do. I'll show you guys this dump. There's the pile right over there. That's where you dump. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. Alright, like I was telling you guys, this is the remote here. It's on an 8-foot cable, and I can just stand right outside the truck. It's magnetic too. I can put it on the side of the truck, but that's it. This is what I did, guys. This is the dump I made. And I can just stick it right to the side of the truck. It's magnetic. You guys will see that's the new pump that I wired in, and then that's where I put the lead through for that 8-foot cable for the remote. There's a couple of these runners under here that are rotted out, but I already got all new ones, so I just got to cut these off, and I'm gonna sister them in and weld new ones in. But there's like four of them right here, and it's just the tails on each side, so I just got to cut them out. And but you'll see, look at that, a lot of that grass stayed right in there because I welded steel plates in there too, because it had a flat wooden bed. So I just put the steel plates over top of the wooden bed and welded it in. But I'm going to use the shovel and pull some of this out. This stuff's been in here all week, so it was wet grass to start with, so a lot of it's sticking. As soon as I use the shovel and break a little bit of it free, it'll all come out of there. But that's it, guys. So like I said, sorry about not getting these videos up, not getting them made, but stick with me, guys, stick with me, and we'll get them banged out. I'll be putting up a lot more, so stay with me, guys. Thanks for watching.